All right, guys, welcome to another live stream. Welcome to another live stream. Happy Sunday. All right, so let me do an audio check because, like I said before, my mic tends to shut off in the middle of the live stream. So let me just make sure that it's working because I do not want to record and I do not want to record. Like I said before, my mic tends to shut off. Okay. In the middle. Cool. It's working. Good. So if ever my mic does not work, please leave a comment in the chat, and we'll fix that. All right, because I have another one charged up, so I could just switch it out. But yeah, so one of the biggest, so your biggest financial investment, one of the biggest financial investments that you'll make during your lifetime. I think people gloss over this one. I think it's very important. It may not seem financial at first, but when we get into it, when we talk about the investment, it'll make sense. So the biggest financial investment that you'll make during your lifetime is the partner you choose to be with, right? Most people end up living with somebody else, you know, and you end up spending a lot of time with that person, a lot of resources. It's an investment. You again, it's time, it's money, and you also end up procreating with that person, right? At least for me, I can only speak from the guy perspective. You know, guys, when you pick that woman, you are making a financial investment, right? And also when women pick that guy, you're making a financial investment too, right? You need to make sure that that person is financially stable. But again, I'm speaking from the guy perspective. So yeah, and the reason why I bring this up is because the divorce rate is up there, especially in the U.S. I think it's around 45 to 50%. It's very high, and a lot of it is due to money, right? People don't have enough money to support their spouse, and it takes a toll on the relationship when it comes to maybe the experiences that you can provide the other person, or just taking care of the basic needs, right? When you can't make rent, and the other person's kind of depending on you to come through and things like that. Maybe it may be for the kids or whatever the case may be. It does put financial strain on the relationship, and a lot of marriages end up, terminated because of this reason, right? And for me specifically, I take it very serious. I'm in the dating phase right now, and I'm very careful on who I actually just go out with. I'm not just going to go out with any woman, and just you know pick anything. Right? You definitely need to do your due diligence when it comes to vetting who's going to come into your life. So and one of the reasons why I bring this up is because I watch a lot of self improvement podcasts, and a lot of these guys, they, they'll come onto the podcast and they're like, I just had this kid out of wedlock, things like that. What do I do? And it's crazy that somebody would just meet somebody within, a month or two and have a kid with that person, right? And most of the time, that person that did that didn't have a good, didn't have a good relationship with their parents as well, and now they're bringing a child into the world, and they're about to provide the same lifestyle that they had. All right, so yeah, I don't, and then also, a lot of these guys don't have the money to provide for the kid, right? It's not planned. You just do it out of, because you're in the moment. And on top of that, the person that they had a kid with is not even a person they would like to be with, right? Because you don't really get to know a person until like a year or two in, like a full year. And I would say even more. I would say 2 to 3 years. So I would say at least be with that person for 2 to 3 years before you make some type of long-term commitment, whether it's kids, marriage, moving in, right? You definitely don't want to move in. And this is from my experience. I see a lot of women that want to move in quickly with the guy, and the guy sometimes, if he's just lost in the sauce, it's like you just go with the flow, right? And again, I can only speak from the guy perspective, right? I can't speak from any other perspective. But yeah, those decisions, moving in quickly, having kids, being married, those need to be thought out carefully. Because one, if you're a guy that has maybe you're dating around in your late 20s and early 30s, and you're doing good for yourself, you know, you could be a potential target for somebody that's not doing as well. I'm not saying you can't get with somebody that is doing, you know, not as good as you, right? Or doesn't make as much money as you, but you need to be on the same wavelength when it comes to how you spend money, what you're going to spend money on, and does that person like to throw away money? So those are the things that you need to find out when you're dating a person, especially guys, when you go out with the girls, does that girl like to spend a lot of money, right? Or does she like to, and not to say she can't like to go out or things like that, but what is her mentality around money? And then also, does that person like to build, right? Is that person lazy? This is, your partner is an investment. I think people should be looking at it like that. You shouldn't be just looking at it as somebody you're gonna, lay down with, or, go to the beach with, or go to the movies with. And, it may feel good, but is it gonna end up good at the end when you start to make these big decisions like getting married and having kids and moving in with each other? So yeah, this is the number one investment. It doesn't seem financial in the beginning because, again, most people don't look at it like that, right? And I'm not saying you have to look at it like that 100%, but you should definitely look at it like, okay, I'm bringing somebody into my world. I have these assets. Can they at least maintain those assets, and they should help them grow, right? The person coming into your life should contribute, right? They shouldn't be taking away from what you built. And guys, you should be building something, right? Whether it's business, investments, some type of foundation, to where when somebody comes in, they're coming into something, but it's not to just take, right? You don't want to have somebody just come in and take and just deplete what you have. Because we have that, again, like I said, the divorce rate is up, and and people are not staying that long together, right? I've seen some marriages end within the first 2 3 years because you didn't vet the person, right? You moved in with that person, you got to see another side of that person, and now you regret even meeting that person in the first place, right? So yeah, and again, a lot of you guys don't think, like I said, I look at some of these podcasts and some of these, and I'm like, man, like, how can you have a kid with somebody you just met, and it's like your life just, you find out this person's doing that on the side, they're talking to this person, they're doing this, they got so much debt, and it's a balancing act too, because like I said, if you go out on a date with a girl and you you don't want to bombard her with all these financial questions and things like that. So that's why you need to extend the period in which make it official, right? So you need to make sure that you give it enough time so you could see what that person's about and you can make decisions clearly, right? Gather information. It's like an investment, right? Before you make an investment, what do? You gather information, and it's high quality information, right? You look at, you know, the relationship she has with her parents. You look at, again, I'm speaking from the guy perspective. You look at her relationship with money. Does she like to blow money? What does she like to buy, spend her money on? And again, not saying that person can't like nice things, but does the inflow of money they're bringing in match the outflow? And it's your job to figure that out, because if you don't, that's something you're going to have to deal with. How much debt is that person in? Do they like being in a lot of debt? Right? And also, this is another thing too. And I'm not saying that you can't date a girl with kids or things like that, but a lot of the times when a guy does date a girl with kids, it is an additional responsibility on you, because at some point she's probably expecting you to step in. So is that something you're willing to take on? Because I've seen that too on a lot of these self-improvement podcasts. A guy won't have any kids and he gets with a girl that does have kids. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but is that in order, right? Has she fixed that situation? Is that situation taken care of? And it's not an expectation on you to come in and fix that situation for her. So I'm not saying you can't get into a situation like that, but those situations have to be looked into a lot more carefully, right? So, yeah, your partner is your biggest investment, and it's going to take some time. And what I see too, a lot of people that have met somebody in their teens, in early 20s, they sometimes those relationships work out a lot better, because you get to know that person early and they don't get too much exposure to the real world. But let's say you're single and you're dating in your mid 20s to early 30s, the people you meet tend to have had a lot more experiences, right? And if they don't end up with the person that they were with, typically those experiences are really, not that good. So they take that and then they bring it into the next relationship. So it's a lot harder to find somebody in your mid 20s, late 30s that's going to be compatible. So it's going to take a lot more time to filter out what's not right for you. So just know that. And also, we're in an age with social media as well. So again, experiences. People want more experiences. So for guys, you're gonna need a lot more resources to provide those experiences, and that's fine. But you don't want to be with somebody that's there to take advantage of you just because of those experiences. It's gonna cost money. So just know that be careful on the partner that you pick, because you will end up losing everything you work for if you pick the wrong partner, right? You don't want to do that. And then also, you don't want to be starting up again so late just because you rushed that decision, right? A lot of people want to make you rush a decision. Oh, have you found a girlfriend yet? Blah, 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 and stuff like that. You'll hear that. And it's because people are just bored and they want you to just make a decision quick. But that's one of the decisions that you need to take your time and make sure you pick right. Because if you don't, you'll ruin your life, right? Okay, so yeah. So that's pretty much it for today. Make sure you guys go follow me on TikTok, Financial Nutrition, Instagram, Mr. Financial Nutrition. I post Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. I'll be posting today, 11 to 12, 6 p.m. during the week. Yeah, and hopefully we're working on getting it better. Right now, we're taking portions of the live stream, cutting it and placing it out. But I'm being very conscious on how I deliver the live stream, so that way, as I cut it up, it makes sense. Like the shorts that I put out, because in the beginning I wasn't intending to cut my live streams up. So I would say like some of the stuff that I was saying, like it makes sense, but you would have to have watched the live stream for it to make perfect sense. So I'm trying to be conscious of when I deliver the live stream, how that's going to play out when I post on TikTok and Instagram. And it's just a way to get short clips of what I talk about on my live stream. That way people could be interested and potentially come to the channel, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.